My name is Jim Hamm, and this is my resurrection story. I was born here in Waverly, Tennessee. I am the second child of 6 children, and my father was a carpenter and my mother was a homemaker. We were a close-knit family. We were always in church, and we were very poor, but we probably didn't even know it at the time. Growing up in the church, back in the olden days, well, in the 50s, 60s, that era, we had evangelists come, and they were, I consider them legalistic. Here's a list of stuff you can do, stuff you can't do, and you got to wear your hair so long, you got to wear your sleeves so long, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I'm thinking, I cannot live up to all their rules. I can't never make it to heaven according to them. I'm just not going to be able to make it because there are so many do's and don'ts. And the old evangelist just about preached me out of the church. I went in the Army in July of 1960 and was sent straight to Germany. And in August of '61, they built the Berlin Wall. That was the great period during the Cold War time between Russia and America and East Germans. And then in October of '62, as a matter of fact, I got extended during that time because of the Berlin Wall. And I wound up staying overseas nearly 32 months on account of that. But anyway, in October of '62, we had the Cuban Missile Crisis, and I was still in Germany. But I was a young guy, 18, 19 years old. I thought I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof, so in those days, you didn't worry about it all that much. Mom was real worried about me not writing home, and she went to Brother Adams, and she said I hadn't heard anything from Jimmy in however long it had been a long time. I'd gotten real lax about writing. And so they had prayer, and he said, Miss Hamm, you'll get a letter tomorrow. And she said, I went to the mailbox the next day, and sure enough, there was a letter from me. So, I think Brother Adams had a great influence in Mom's life and in all of our lives. We had a big test on a cold February day in 1978. The train derailed in Waverly and exploded, and it killed my father and my brother. My father died, the explosion was on Friday, and Dad died on Sunday afternoon. And T-Boy was transferred to the burn center in Birmingham, Alabama, and he lived to the 15th of March. So I was just back and forth between here and Birmingham, trying to take care of things here for Mom and family. And I prayed for healing. And but after, if you could have seen my dad and my brother, I think death was healing, because the shape they were in, nobody wants to see anybody like that. I mean, a burn victim is the worst thing you'll ever witness. And my brother, he was the youngest brother, and he was big, strong, strapping, handsome young man, 20 years old. And I don't believe he could ever dealt with being so disfigured all of his life. I think death was the healing. I'm Jimmy. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me.